Is there a good way to know how much to contribute if you are behind? I'm 32 years old with about $40,000 invested. I make $50,000 per year in gross annual income. I'm currently saving 25% between my 401k and HSA, including the match. I'm just honestly not sure how much more I could contribute realistically, but I like to have goals to work towards.
Well, MH, first of all, okay, so let me restate what I just heard. You're 32 years old. You've already accumulated $40,000 and you're saving 25% of your gross income already. So like when I read that, I'm thinking to myself, like, where are you behind? Like, are you even certain that you're behind? Or how did you even arrive at the conclusion you're behind? Because we have a great tool. If you go to moneyguide.com/resource, we have a wealth multiplier tool. And what it will show you is how much each dollar that you put to work can turn into by the time that you get to retirement. What I think is amazing is for a 32-year-old, if you go look at what your wealth multiplier is, Brian, do you have a thing? Do you know what the wealth multiplier is? Oh gosh, he's got a cycle through. Oh my goodness.
It's somewhere. Yeah.
All right, so for a 32-year-old, Brian, what is the wealth multiplier?
32-year-old, it is 18.05.
So if you just were to take that $40,000 that you have today and multiply that times 18.05, that would tell you what you're on track to have without saving another dime. And I bet that's going to be a pretty big number. So I'm curious, are you actually behind? But MH's question was, okay, if I am behind, if I do arrive at that conclusion, what are some ways that I should catch up? Or how do I think about catching up? What would you say?
Well, first, I think when in doubt, zoom out. I talk about that for market volatility, but I also think it would be helpful in this situation for context. We just know, look, we aspirationally focus a lot of our content on trying to help 20, 30-somethings, and even 40-somethings because of that whole component of compounding growth. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that if you do the research, the average age Americans begin investing is 33 years of age. Mm-hmm. So
already ahead of the curve.
By that context, MH is actually ahead of the curve. When we talk about the 20-somethings, that's why we always talk about that 25% is aspirational in your 20s. We know that it takes a while to catch your footing, to get inspired, to even make this happen. I also want to give MH some additional context. I don't like to do public math, but I did bring a crutch of my public calculator here. And I was going to type this in. So he makes $55,000. 25% works out to be about $13,750 a year. That's pretty aggressive, but he is counting his employer match. So I think a lot of people, if you have a very generous employer, this is actually very doable. Sure. So if we divide that by 12, we can come up with, that's a little over $1,100 a month of investments. He says he has $40,000 already in his investment accounts. And I'm just going to use a conservative 8% ongoing, and we'll just say take him to 60. We're not even, I don't know if that's fire. That's not probably too aggressively fire. But it's earlier than 65. It's earlier than 67.
You're right.
So if you did 27 years times 12 months, that's 324 months. That puts him at, check this out, $1.6 million, $1,652,000 when he crosses into his 60s. I don't think you're really behind MH. I think it's just you need to reframe your perspective. Instead of being glass half empty, let's be glass half full.